Welcome to Hero's Journey Physio Fitness. Our mission is to empower, inspire, and mentor people to reclaim their health and become self-reliant in their fitness. I'm your host, Dr. Cameron Hogue. Join with me as my co-host, Annabelle Rios.
All right, we are going live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Hero's Journey Physio Fitness.
Where dreams come true.
Exactly, and you can have the body of your dreams. All right, guys, we're switching it up on you. Look around you. Who do you see? Approach them quickly, politely, and say, hey.
Not aggressively.
Not aggressively. Check out the Hero's Journey Physio Fitness podcast. There you go. Easy.
Yeah,
Tell 2 people. We'll do 2. We usually do 1. You know, we're doing progressive overload, so you got to keep improving. Can't just do 1.
And well, that was beautifully said, my friend.
Of course.
So I'm also going to tell you guys about our friend.
Oh, our good friend.
Legions Athletics. Okay. Legions is the #1 brand of all natural sports supplements in the world for a few good reasons. Number 1, all products are 100% natural. No artificials, no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. Legion doesn't use any proprietary blends. What you see is what you get. And Legion only uses the clinically effective dose of ingredients that have been proven to work. So if you like what you just heard, which Annabelle and I do, we use their products, head on over to www.legionsathletics.com. Use the code HEROES, that is HEROES, to get 20% off your first order and double loyalty points on every order after that.
You need a hero? We're your heroes.
Oh my gosh. What's gotten into you, man?
I don't know.
What are we talking about today, man?
I'm drinking coffee, water, and protein shake at the same time, and it's
And you
beautiful.
pre-worked out this morning.
And pre-workout, so I am high on life. We're talking about something that is often disregarded. There is a secret power, and that power is walking.
A secret power that lies within.
The power of walking.
Yeah, we're going to talk about walking today. It's as Annabelle kind of said, sometimes, well, there's two extremes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's the extreme of, I don't know, maybe you are high-level athlete, maybe you're really into fitness, you've been doing it for a while, and walking is beneath you. You know, you'd rather get on the rower, you might want to go on a run, hike, whatever, and walking it's just elementary. You don't want to do that anymore. And then on the other side of the spectrum are some people that, like, I might see in physical therapy who, and I, oh my goodness, your leg is really weak. Do you exercise at all? Well, yeah, I walk. And I'm like, oh, well, that's not going to cut it either. So, like, walking is like the end all be all for some, and then walking is beneath others.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things where it sounds too easy to be true.
Mm-hmm.
For those people, right, who you haven't worked out and you don't know how to start or what to even do. You're like, hey, why don't you just take up walking? I'm like, okay. But seriously, what's the secret?
Pipe down there now.
Like, it's just start walking.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna go through the pros. We're gonna go through at the very end. We got some common questions about walking, and then, like, basically how to start applying this to your life to kind of start reaping these benefits, because we like the benefits.
Yeah. It's like, guys, do I even need to listen to this podcast? Or are you going to tell me, go outside and start walking? I'm like, yeah, kind of, but you'll learn why.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've seen, I'm sure you've seen too, Cam, when you
Mm-hmm.
look online to these fitness coaches, fitness influencers, fitness anything, you'll hear that a lot of them, after they've got into maybe their dream body, they're at that place where they want to maintain their leanness or their physique. You'll hear most of them say, what do you do? What kind of cardio are you doing? They're like, I don't do cardio, in the sense of most people, in the way that people think about it, meaning going out for a run, going out for a bike.
Getting hot and sweaty on a treadmill.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a bike.
Say, I just walk. Like, what? You just walk? And it's one of those things where it sounds so easy, but they do it for a few reasons. One, it doesn't make you super hungry, like some of the other high-intensity interval types of training.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It'll make you very hungry. And it's easier to do. It's easier on your body. So that makes sense.
Easy to recover from.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that was super interesting. Us kind of just going through a lot of the people you might find on YouTube or Instagram, and you will be surprised how many of them will say I get my steps in or I walk, and that's kind of like my cardio and how I like burn some of my calories.
Yeah. And not to say they don't do other things, but
Right.
that's like,
or not to say that I hadn't done intense cardio in the past, but the fact that they use that in their training of just getting their steps in and walking, I think there is something that can be learned from that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it shouldn't be beneath people is what we're trying to get out of this. Another good point about walking is it can be done the rest of your life, and in like everybody, unless you're in a wheelchair, everybody can walk. And I don't want to be too like brutal about that, but like if you have two legs and you can walk, like this is something you can do no matter your age,
where your starting point is.
Exactly. And it's sustainable.
Because I think we talk about that, but you're gonna have to keep doing something too. I know at first you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta lose 50, 100, etc. pounds. But guess what? Once you lose the weight, you have to find something to keep it off. And walking seems to be that for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, walking is. I just like how anybody can do it. You can have a treadmill if it's raining outside. You can walk at different times of the day, sunny, cold. Like you can do it anywhere, anytime. For most of the time, unless it's thunderstorming. Unless you're David Goggins, and that's the perfect time to go outside.
You see it's raining, like, let's go for a run.
Yeah. Tell us about our ancestors.
So this was interesting as we were looking into this more. And one, we don't walk that much. And then I thought, okay, what about our ancestors back in the hunter-gatherer days? So there was this article that said they walked around 16 to 17,000 steps, which is about 8 miles per day. They say about because it's going to matter. It's going to depend on your height, your weight, your steps. So it's about 8 miles per day.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's some people just think about that. It's like, 16,000 steps doesn't sound that bad, but
you also got to think about it. Back
8
then,
miles, like that's a lot to think about in terms of miles.
The only way you got around was what?
Walking
on your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe what is a snow dog and bobsled or something like that.
Well, so it makes sense.
Yeah, we'll link the article on that in case anyone wants to fact check us.
But nowadays, might be getting ahead of myself, but we barely get any steps. I think under 4,000, less than 4,000 steps a day.
Yeah, per the Mayo Clinic, it was like 3,000 to 4,000 a day for average, and that takes into consideration people that work like in restaurants and are walking back and forth, and people who sit at a desk. So it's probably, again, that's the average, but if you have a desk job, you're probably getting way less than.
I know that I have a desk job and you don't move.
Even it was kind of crazy. Even as a physical therapist, I had a Garmin, and I was like, man, I probably got, before I even get home, I've got like 10,000 steps, and I checked it before I got home, and I was like, I was at like 3,000 to 4,000 steps. Like
I thought when we were talking about this, like, man, you probably get easily 8 to 10. And you're like, no.
I guess I do a lot of standing. I guess. You walk and you show exercise and stuff like that. I thought that I would walk more. I guess I do more standing than walking, but that was kind of a shocker to me that I didn't get that as many steps as I thought for a active standing job versus
and then there are jobs like. A lot of hard labor jobs, but they're getting their steps in.
For sure.
So
this is kind of interesting about so people will say in terms of steps, you got to get
10,000.
10,000. Everyone's probably heard that. Get your 10,000 steps in. I thought it was actually kind of funny. Annabelle found this where it actually came from.
From a marketing campaign for those little things you wear on your hip. They count your steps. It's called pedometer.
Yeah. Those bastards.
A lot of these things are just marketing campaign. I think I heard the same thing about like orange juice and like cereal and breakfast food, that they were just trying to sell more. So a lot of these things is like, it's good for you, but with the steps though, it has been found that there is some validity to getting close to 10,000 steps. Yeah,
I think that one is probably a more of a true, not so sneaky in terms of the marketing on like just.
They got their money, that's for sure.
They did. I had some patients that would have it around their ankle. They had like a little tracking thing for their ankle. Like some had it on their hip, but some people were like, that tracks better on my ankle than my hip. But yeah, 10,000 actually has been shown to be a very good range of steps with all the benefits that we're going to talk about here.
Yeah, and 10,000 is what we say about 5 miles a day.
About. And again, you can track. I mean, there's so many different ways now. Like if you keep your phone in your pocket, like your phone now kind of can kind of track your steps. If you have any sort of smartwatch, it's definitely tracking your steps. Fitbits, Garmin's, Apple Watches.
Yeah, or let's say you don't have a smartwatch and you don't have a pedometer. We're later on going to give you some of the average times these steps or different mileage is going to take.
Yeah.
And you can just look at your watch. Okay, I've walked 15 minutes. Now I've walked 30 minutes. Okay, and then you kind of just add it up, and I should be close to it. You know, we're seeking that good enough, not perfect.
Right. So you might, you know what I realized, Annabelle?
What's that?
It just reminded me of this. I went back and I listened to a few of sometimes I'll go back and listen to a few of our podcasts
I
after we're
don't,
done
but
editing.
continue.
And I was like, I've got a filler word that I say, and it is so.
So
I'll be like,
so what? Like so? Like just
so. I'll say so before I say something else. Like that's my filler word. I don't say like literally or like or all this stuff. I say so. And I literally I just said so just a minute ago, right before we did that. And
I think I have one too, but I don't know what it is because I don't listen back to the other episodes.
I'll be on the lookout for yours. Everyone's got one.
Everybody has
I'm
one.
really trying not to say so. I'm trying so hard.
So hard.
You got
So that was a hard one.
Yeah.
As most people say, like.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay. What if you're the person that does have more of a sitting job? You're not. You don't have an active job. We have some tips how you can get your steps in, kind of shooting for that 10,000 a day. One of the tips that we can give you is just think about breaking it up throughout the day.
Yeah. Oh, quick thing, I guess. 10,000 steps. Again, it's about 5 miles. It's around an hour and 40-ish minutes, maybe a little bit less. So you just keep that in the back of your mind. That way you can find a way to break that up.
Yeah.
Continue.
So, oh my gosh, I just did it again. I'm going to be so cognizant of that now.
All right,
But breaking it up, you might do some in the morning. You might do some at lunch. You might do some when you get home. You might walk with think about, you go to the grocery store, you go to this, you go to that. Like, just you're breaking it up throughout the day. You don't have to necessarily think, I got to walk for an hour and 40 minutes straight.
Because when you say, you're like, oh my gosh, but you could have an active job and you check your smartwatch, your phone, and you say, okay, at my job, I'm getting about, maybe you're getting 5,000 to 6,000. Okay, good. That way you can figure out I need to get another 4,000 in.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to also know what kind of job you have.
Right. Park further away. If you don't work from home anymore, since COVID and everything, park far away. When you're at the grocery store, park far away.
Actually go to the grocery store.
Yeah. I mean,
oh, wow. That is true. Most
what?
people don't even go to the grocery store. You just probably have it all delivered and do
that is nice though.
pickup. It is very nice.
But not conducive to getting your
I was
steps
like,
in,
oh my
people.
gosh, the more that I think about it, we're going to be walking a lot less in the next several years.
The world is coming to convenience.
At least in the first world.
In the first world, exactly. We are in the first world, so that's how we're speaking from our perspective.
Yeah.
It's hard. We don't live in another world.
First world problems.
Yeah, no, for real. Another thing we can do is we can take the stairs. I mean, that's obvious. If you work on the 3rd floor instead of taking the elevator, taking the stairs.
My favorite one is taking a cat for a walk.
That's what they do in Mexico is what I heard.
No, they don't, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
They can't put that in. Take your cat for a walk. Like, you don't take cats for a walk. You do now.
Take your dog for a walk. That's
take your dog.
actually a good one.
It is a good one.
Set reminders on your phone. If you have a desk job, set it for 20, 30, every 40 minutes, something like that, where you get up and you take a lap around the office.
It's also good, too.
Go say hi to Jennifer,
Oh, not Jennifer.
No.
No.
Pam.
I
was thinking the office. Anyway.
I know. Because sometimes you're sitting down all day anyways, and you kind of get tired. So just stand up, take a 5-10 minute walk, go get coffee.
Yeah. Listening to music while you walk. That can be a way that some people really like listening to music. So just take that listening music instead of sitting down or in your car or whatever, and just go for a walk while you listen to it. Take a family member, take a friend, have a conversation.
Yeah.
Use time that you'd normally be sitting down and talking.
Oh,
and just
call a friend. Maybe they're not with you.
I actually do that quite a bit.
Do you really?
I called Jake and Austin the other day on one of my walks.
Yeah.
And husband was like, "You running?" I'm like, "No, I'm going up a hill with the dog and a weighted vest on. I'm out of breath." But
Are you jogging?
jogging. So I do call people.
Yeah,
What else we got on here? Ooh, I like this one a lot. Walk while you're waiting. So if you are at a doctor's appointment, if you have to wait for whatever it might be.
You're waiting to board the plane. It's like an hour or two delay. Just take a little walk.
Yeah, don't leave your luggage though. Apparently,
Take it with you.
they don't like that. And this is one I've been implementing recently: is taking a 15-minute walk at the end of your lunch break. It actually kind of helps me not feel as like sluggish and full, and it feels good to kind of get outside during lunch and just walk for about 15 minutes. Sometimes I'll call people. Sometimes I'll just listen to a podcast, and it's nice. It kind of breaks my day up a little bit.
I do like that one.
That is a good one.
That's a good one. All right, guys. So, you may have not heard of this. It is called the Blue Zones. It's about 5 in the world, right? I think it's 4 or 5.
Something like that.
4 or 5, maybe 6. Places in the world where people are living up to like 100 plus years. Centurions, what they're called.
That's kind of a cool word, centurion.
It is.
So it sounds like centaur. Half horse, half man.
Yeah, that's what I think about. And there's a lot of things that they do, but the one that we want to focus on is they make moving a part of their life. So they're just moving naturally. So they're a little bit more active than we are in most first world countries. So what that means is generally about every 20 minutes they're moving. They're doing something active. They're not just sitting down. Whereas I think for us, most of the time we're sitting down. We're sitting in the car. We're sitting while we're working. We're sitting while we eat. We're sitting
while we
poop.
Watch TV. Yeah. Be pretty impressive if you don't sit while you poop there, Annabelle. That's not why it takes you so long.
But when you're in the woods, you don't sit. You squat.
Yeah, they've made it part of their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And right now, most people in America's lifestyle is sitting, not active.
Which is why we get less than 4,000 steps a day.
Exactly.
Most of us.
Yeah. So we wanted to give you some numbers to some of these too. Annabelle had pulled these up, and these are really good.
Again, these are averages because I know some people's like, but I'm taller, I'm shorter, I'm this, I'm...
Average people.
Average people. Hit it with a 2,000, Cam. 2,000 steps.
So if you're getting 2,000 steps in a day, that's roughly a mile. That's roughly about 22 minutes of walking, roughly 100 calories burned. So if you feel like you can walk for 22 minutes on your lunch break, that's 1 mile. That's about 2,000 steps. You burned about 100 calories.
And that's probably what most people are getting.
Most likely. Yeah.
Check your phone and see what it says.
Yeah. What about 5,000?
5,000 steps is about 2 miles, 45 minutes, and about 250 calories. I like these numbers just to kind of paint a picture when you're trying to break it up.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay, it's like, yeah, you can walk in the morning when you're walking your dog outside so they can use the bathroom. It's a thing.
Right.
Then during lunch, another 15 minutes, and then another afternoon walk. And then bada bing, bada boom, and you're almost... So you may have even hit the 45 minutes. Was that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
30, 45. Boom. You're welcome. That's 8,000 steps. That is about 3.5 miles. Hour and 20 minutes. This one is closer to 300 to 400 calories. All right, Ken, you want to do the last two?
Yeah. So I just pulled up my calculator because I wanted to hit this number real quick. So 10,000 steps is about 5 miles. It takes about an hour and
Hour and 40, hour 30. Yeah.
And it's 400 to 500 calories, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
So I just did the calculation here. Check my math, people. If you walked 10,000 steps a day, you did it every day, and you did it for a year, you will walk 1,820 miles.
Oh, wow. Say that again.
So if you took 10,000 steps every day for the full year, you will have walked 1,820 miles.
Wow.
So that's going to add up. That's like you're stacking some.
And if you're doing that for the rest of your life, man, that's going to compound.
Exactly. The whole thing about compounding your fitness and lifestyle, like those things are going to add up in a good way.
In a good way.
In a really good way. So I just wanted to see what that was, since 10,000 is kind of the gold standard. I'm like, man, that's quite a bit of miles you'll get in a year.
Yeah.
That's a good goal.
That is a good goal. What's the last one?
15,000 steps. That's about 7 miles. Should take you about 2 hours, and it can get up to about 1,000 calories, maybe about 500 to 1,000 calories. These are guys. Has compounding effects here.
Yeah, and it's simple. I know it's not sexy. It's not this new secret to the ultimate way to lose fat forever, or the ultimate. It's walking. It's not fun. It doesn't sound exciting, but it's very beneficial. Would you say a good daily goal for most would be 8 to 10,000?
Yeah, I think that would
Yeah.
be. I think that'd be great. We do have one at the end. Like our call to action will tell you kind of how to start implementing this.
Because listen, if you're first, you got to figure out where you're starting, and then we'll kind of guide you from there.
Yeah, so stay tuned to the end to figure out how to kind of implement this.
Now you have to wait and listen.
But that's right. Got to listen to us drone on here. We do have some common question and answers about walking, things that we've seen online, things that I've been asked in the clinic, all that kind of stuff. So, question number 1. Annabelle loves this one. Is walking the silver bullet for my health and fitness problems?
Now I was laughing because he said so. But it's
Did
a
I say so
common
again?
word. It's a common word. What else are you going to say?
Dang it, man. But back to the question. So, no, there is no silver bullets.
No, there's not.
Annabelle loves the saying, there are no silver bullets.
There isn't.
There's,
But you can load up on all kinds of bullets.
That's right. There are, a lot of things where actually the next question is the pros, but there are things that, walking does not accomplish. Like you're not getting any sort of upper body strength, hypertrophy, or endurance. You're really not getting any lower extremity strengthening. Maybe if you're doing some hills, or you put a weighted vest on.
Yeah.
And you're not really increasing what we'd call your VO2 max, like basically your aerobic base, your ability to do a lot of like high cardiovascular output type activities.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is very beneficial.
But not to dismiss it, but it's like a lot of things that we talk about is this one thing is good, this other thing is good. But a lot of times we get in camps. Like, I'm only going to do resistance training. I'm only going to do cardio. It's like, okay, but you need to do a little bit of all of it.
Exactly.
So,
what's question number 2, Annabelle?
What are the biggest pros for daily walking or getting your steps in? One of the biggest ones is the vitamin D exposure. Just being outside in nature, getting some sun. It's really good for you. And then also while you're doing that, you're burning calories.
I believe, and I could be misquoting this, I'll have to relook it up. It was I want to say 70 to 80% maybe of Americans are vitamin D deficient. And vitamin D is very crucial for immune functions, for hormonal support, because vitamin D actually, anyway, it can turn. It's more it's more hormonal in nature than a vitamin when it gets processed. But
sorry,
go for it.
I'm gonna ramble for a little bit. But now we're being told you shouldn't be outside because sun exposure is so bad for you, this and that. But also it's good for you.
Yeah, I mean, don't go get fried.
Don't get fried, but don't be scared to go outside. Put some sunscreen on and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Don't just use LED lights.
Right.
Another
good one.
To say that tangent.
No, that's okay. Another big pro is you are burning calories.
Yeah.
Like we said, with if you're getting your 10,000 steps in, that's at least 500 calories burned. Not to also mention you're kind of, which is another point, is fueling your metabolism. You're kind of stoking that, keeping that going to help burn additional calories in food that you eat and all that kind of stuff.
And it makes it easier to stay in good shape.
It does. Another pro is stress reduction. Like, that's huge.
Yeah, take a hike. Quite literally.
I know a lot of therapists, when people come in for, if they're feeling anxious, stressed, one of their, among many, are getting outside and going for a walk.
Yeah.
It really does help.
It kind of hits on all the ones that we've talked about in our stress management episode. Like, physical activities is really good for your brain, and then also getting that sun exposure is really good for you. And then if you're going out in nature therapy, so
trifecta.
Boom. Wow, you're welcome. Free therapy right here. Nets.
I think another pro for this is if you're it's going to start to become a lifestyle change. And we all know lifestyle change is what actually leads to long-term success.
Yeah, it's that buzzword, but it's so true. We're trying to give you something that is sustainable. A lot of times you look at all these articles, social media, and it's all this clickbait, new trends. This one isn't sexy, but it's sustainable, and it's going to help you.
I totally agree.
What's the next one, Doc?
So another question is, I have osteoarthritis in my knees, or I have osteoarthritis in my hips. Will walking make it worse? I get this question a lot. The answer is no. Walking will actually help you. So most of the major joints in our body, we call them synovial joints. And that basically means that they're filled with this stuff called synovial fluid, which helps to cushion, lubricate the joint. Walking will actually help to kind of stir that fluid up, almost like oil kind of lubricating in an engine. And it actually makes the joint feel better. And this is especially true of people that have osteoarthritis. Typically, those type of people that have osteoarthritis are typically in more pain in the morning, like when they first wake up. But as they get going and start moving around and walking, their pain typically gets better. Hint, hint, the walking around, stirring it up, not being sedentary. They think sedentary makes it feel better because you're resting, and then when you start moving, it hurts, but staying active is actually what keeps you.
So, to sum it all up, avoidance is typically not the solution.
Exactly. The whole concept of, rusting out, like are your joints rusting out or wearing out?
Mm-hmm.
And
I thought we talked about that.
We
right?
did talk about that. I want to bring that one back up again. I've got more to say.
Mm-hmm. Say that again.
Rusting out versus wearing out. And if you're being more sedentary because you're afraid that the walking's going to make your joints worse, you're actually just rusting your joints out. You're going to be in more pain versus getting up, getting moving, stirring up that synovial fluid, making the joints feel better. And it's not just that. Walking is also low impact, so that helps joint health. And is weight bearing, which can help maintain and kind of promote stronger bones and prevent osteoporosis, which is a breakdown of the bone itself or a weakening of the bone itself.
Yeah, maybe you don't want to ride a bike because it hurts your butt. We've all been there. Just walk.
I know. Getting in the saddle's tough.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's number 4?
All right. So another common question is, I have a significant amount of weight to lose. Will walking help? Anything will help, but walking would definitely help.
Yeah.
Especially at that point, because you'll probably see, oh, you need to start running. It's good for you. It is good for you. But you probably can't run.
Not if you're 300 pounds.
Not if you're 300 pounds, or not if you're 50 plus pounds overweight. Start with walking. It's going to be really good for you. And it's something that we said you can do for the rest of your life. And we talked about that. You want to find things you can do sustainably because you'll stick to it and you'll have that compounding effect.
Right. And remember, nutrition is still the key to weight loss.
Yes.
So don't just think I'm going to walk and that's how, I'm going to still eat fried Oreos and all that stuff. We always recommend some resistance training for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But walking can be one of the easiest things you can do to get active, start stacking wins, and start burning calories and
Yeah, you got to start now.
Yeah.
And this is one thing you can do right now.
We kind of covered this next question already, but can walking help my anxiety and depression?
Yes.
And the answer is yes. There has been more research that shows that walking outside will and can reduce symptoms of anxiety and or depression. And for multiple reasons, we don't have to get into those, but just know that it is very helpful, especially if you're feeling down or feeling anxious about things.
Yeah, start with 5 minutes. Go outside for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
What's the next one, Doc?
This next one's kind of fun, but this is, I guess, more of someone, maybe a type A person asking this. Should I listen to music or a podcast, or should I just think introspectively while
What's
I
the
walk?
best way, Cam? Tell me now.
The best way is no music. It's cheating. Well, it doesn't really matter. We were talking earlier, Annabelle, about you were saying about your goals or like what you're trying to accomplish. Listening to music, we know, has been shown to boost mood, help with stress, so you can get a double.
The right kind of music.
Yeah. The good music.
The good music. But yeah, it's true. It's like, are you trying to maybe, I don't know, feel a little bit better, build your mood? Yeah, maybe put some music. Are you wanting to learn?
Are you wanting some alone time? Is this the time where you can plug in a podcast and actually get your learning in, or get your information in for the day? And that might be a good time to listen to your podcast. That way you can be present with people while you get back after you get back from your walk.
Yeah, or is it a moment of silence for you?
Yeah,
to clear your head. Yeah,
it's cluttered mind. Sometimes that intro, like I'm a deep thinker, like when I mow the grass or go on walks and stuff. So like I just find myself thinking about the meaning of life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me too. It's like you're solving all the life problems. Huh. Check. Nets.
I always recommend praying while walking if that's something that you're into. I think it's a great time, peace and quiet. Be outside, be in nature.
Maybe you don't pray, but just be still.
Be still.
No music, no nothing. Just walk.
Yeah. So that one was just kind of more of a fun question, but all of the above. Try all the above. See what happens. See which one you like. This is a good one, Annabelle. Tell us number 7.
Do I need a good pair of shoes for walking? Yeah, go out and spend at least $300 on some nice kicks. You'll be good to go.
Make sure it's got the Hero's Journey logo.
Yeah.
On it. Pay us. No, we always recommend a good pair of running shoes or walking shoes, maybe even a minimal shoe. You just don't, feet are important. So if you're on your feet, just make sure you got something comfortable.
But don't let that stop you.
Nah.
If you have some old sneakers, you're walking, you're not running. You can use those for a while.
Yeah. Listen to your body, and like Annabelle said, just start.
Yes, that's more important. I think a lot of times, I know I have in the past where I'm kind of that type. Okay, I need to have the perfect solution for walking.
Right.
What shoes, what socks, what shirt. They just start and then learn on the fly and keep. Okay, maybe these shoes aren't good for me. I need to get something else. But
yeah, no reason not to start.
So.
What?
I was just messing with you.
So did I say it again?
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay. Number 8. Is there a difference in terms of your health between, quote, getting your steps in throughout the day and walking for 30 to 60 minutes at one time?
It's a good question.
Because I think that's probably what some people are thinking. It's the last question of the day. It's almost like that thing of, what if I did one push-up 100 times throughout the day versus 100 push-ups in a row? Or like, is there a difference between just, getting your steps in? And there is kind of a difference. We'll kind of discuss here. But at the same time, you're still burning about the same amount of calories.
Yeah, I think you were saying it just depends on what your goal is.
Exactly. So you're going to burn about the same calories. You're still getting active. You still are promoting all the benefits that we've been talking about. But it depends on your goal. Getting your step in throughout the day, like not in one bout, you're not going to really increase, your quote aerobic capacity, because it's not at one time. Like if you can't walk 20 minutes, you have to walk 20 minutes before you can walk 30 minutes. And like just walking for 1 minute every hour or whatever, like, whatever adds up to 20 minutes. That was a horrible example. Every 30 minutes, that it's better than nothing, but it's not going to increase your aerobic base.
Yeah.
And another thing with that, we still like, again, it just depends on your goal, but we would rather you be active and let me go back. Some people will still need to walk those 30-minute bouts to get their steps in.
Yep.
So that's going to be majority of people unless you have an active job.
I would think so.
You know what I mean? So like, it's not like I'm trying to get, it's not one or the other. It's both.
Yeah.
Like to get your steps in, to get 5 miles in, you're going to have to go on some sort of bout of walking. That's going to be probably 15 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, it might be like a evening walk, something like that.
So that question is like, they're kind of tied together, but I would still say that they're pretty similar. You're burning calories, you're staying active, but walking continuously will have more of a carryover in terms of your aerobic capacity. But in terms of health, I think they're both pretty similar and will give you the same kind of end result.
So like you like to say, it doesn't matter.
It really does. And sometimes we get nuance, but that was a decent question because, some people are probably thinking that. And it doesn't really matter.
Would you say if you're trying to build your aerobic base, you probably should start doing some light jogging?
I would, yeah. If you're really trying to build your aerobic base, you probably want to be doing more of moderate to vigorous cardio activity versus just like more mild to moderate or like walking like that.
So, there are benefits to walking. Consistency as always is key.
Absolutely.
Boring, I know, but so you need to incorporate some regular walks into your routine. Again, it can be short, it can be long. Doesn't really matter. Depends on how your schedule looks like. You can get them in, and it can help you in a lot of ways. You're not just your physical health, but also your mental health.
Absolutely. So how we're gonna go about this? Let's just say you're the 4,000 stepper.
Yeah, you get 4,000.
Let's just say you're me, because I was getting about 4,000 steps, and even though I have a standing active job, what we would suggest is to start to increase your total steps by 500 to 1,000, every week.
So you're saying If you do 4,000, do 4,500.
for that week, and the
I'm
next
sure you
week.
probably don't get on the weekends. Most people. This probably goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need a rest. So try to hit that for a week or two.
Yes,
And then you're saying add.
and then the next week it'd be 5,000. The next week 5,500,
Mm-hmm.
6,000. Some people can just shoot for the moon and go for the whole 10. You'll just see how you feel. It's probably it's low impact, high recovery time from walking.
I will start low, and then if it's really easy, then like you said, bump up 5,000.
Yeah. Utilize your lunch break. Utilize the tips we talked about earlier, but you have to have a way to track, and you need to start increasing by 500.
Tracking can be either through an app. You can buy one of those pedometers. Not sponsored.
Yeah.
Or time, like I was saying, you just look at your watch, said, okay, I walked 15 minutes, write it down somewhere. Okay, I walked. And that way you can kind of gauge based on the numbers that we set. Let's say you walk 2,000. You're an office worker, you get barely 2,000. Okay, your goal is 2,500, and you keep building up.
Yeah, that's where we want you to start. 5 to 1,000 steps every week until you get to that sweet magic number of 10,000 or beyond.
Yeah, or honestly, if you don't want to do cardio, let's say you have a lot of weight to lose, and you're saying I don't like run. Okay, don't run. Get more steps in.
Mm-hmm.
Increase it.
Exactly. Walk for an hour before work. Walk for an hour after work. Walk during work. Get those steps in.
Walk while you work. Get one of those desks to have a treadmill.
Hey,
I thought about that.
Hey, if I had a stay-at-home job, I would get one of those little portable treadmills and hook everything up and just walk.
I know. I was thinking about that. Anyways.
Yeah. That's all that we got.
Well, all right, guys. Like we like telling you, remember, you are human. We should not seek perfection, but daily improvement.
All right. See you guys.
See you guys.